Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Magic. This week we are going to be playing a red-green, or gruel, if you prefer that term, aggro landfall deck. There's not a ton of landfall creatures available that are playable in my opinion, but we're playing the ones that are. And I'll go through the deck real quick here so you can see what's going on. We are playing 3 Goblin Glory Chaser, 3 Scythe Leopard, which is a landfall creature, 2 Fiery Impulse for creature removal, 3 Titan Strength, 2 Abbot of Keral Keep because he is just awesome, 4 Makindi Sliderunner, which is also a landfall creature with trample, and that is a very relevant ability. Undercity Troll, just as a beater that can get bigger and hold the board with regenerate. We are playing 4 Snapping Gnarlid, which is our last landfall creature. 3 Infectious Bloodlust. 1 Nissa, Vastwood Seer. We are running 2 Exquisite Firecraft, 2 Nissa's Pilgrimage, only 2 because I'm not running a ton of forests, so more than that would be not very conducive to the deck. Playing more than 2, we would probably run out of targets. We are playing 1 Akoum Firebird, 2 Pia and Kiran Nalaar because they're awesome. It's a great way to flood the board or to reestablish a really good board presence after a board wipe. 2 Kird Chieftain, which is another way to punch through damage with the pay 4 and a green. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. And it's almost always going to be a 4/4 because of the +1/+1 as long as you control a forest. Just an all-around good creature. Our mana base is 9 mountains because we're quite a bit heavier on red than we are on green, and some of our red spells do have double red in the cost, and none of our greens have double green. We are running 6 forests, 2 Cinder Glades, 2 Rootbound Crag, and 2 Evolving Wilds, which are really incredible when you pair them up with the landfall creatures, getting 2 triggers in 1 turn. So let's get in there and be aggressive. As always, I will also be putting the deck list in the description. If you would like an easier to access reference list, there you can find it. I will be keeping this hand. This is pretty aggressive. Would like to draw a few more lands. We are running 23, so that should be doable. Kird Chieftain is the top of our curve. So we will start out with a Glory Chaser here. If we can get this guy renowned, we should be in pretty decent shape. Make him larger and harder to block. It looks like he may be dying, though, to a Fiery Impulse. Our opponent is pausing. Might have done that by accident, I suppose. Or maybe they were just reading Goblin Glory Chaser. You never know. Would like to top deck a land. Did not happen, that's fine. Before we play anything, we are going to attack. Possibly cause our opponent to play in a way that would be less optimal because they don't have full information about what we're going to do this turn. Okay, so there's the Fiery Impulse. And I think we will drop the Gnarlid over the Makindi Sliderunner because of the disparagence in health there. Would make it a little bit less optimal for our opponent to twin bolt and kill it. They would have to put both points of damage on a Gnarlid, whereas they could do 1 to our face with the twin bolt otherwise if we cast the Sliderunner. And it looks like our opponent missed a land drop. We, however, top decked a land, so that is good. We're going to play it and get our landfall trigger from the Gnarlid here and swing on in. Attack with all, confirm. And it looks like our opponent has no responses to this. Again, I'm not going to drop the Sliderunner. I don't want to lose 2 creatures to a Twin Bolt. What I am going to do is play Glory Chaser and my second Gnarlid. And we have a pretty large presence on board now. Looks like we're about to lose something. There's another Impulse, so I guess they're killing the Glory Chaser. I really expected it to be the second Gnarlid, but I guess they are more concerned with our Glory Chaser gaining menace from being renowned. There's a Twin Bolt. So there's what I was talking about. They could have used a Twin Bolt to kill 2 of our creatures if we'd have played Makindi Sliderunner at any point through there along with the Glory Chaser. So we will go ahead and drop a mountain for our landfall trigger. And swing in for 3. Post-combat, we will be playing a Kird Chieftain, and then we will be 1 land away from activating its pump ability. Okay, go ahead and drop this guy. The 4/4 body is also not irrelevant. And our opponent finally hits their 3rd land drop. Looks like they are just straight up mono red. And they've had a pretty bad draw so far with... maybe they're Thopters without hitting any of their blue, or maybe it's just mono red running some of the Thopter creatures. Chooses not to attack with the hasted Thopter there. We will be dropping our Rootbound Crag. We've had a lot of good landfall triggers this game, and we'll just go ahead and swing out because we may be using all of our mana to pump something with Kird Chieftain. Let's see if they block with anything else. No, so we will be pumping Chieftain and giving it trample. That way only 1 damage will be prevented and we'll be getting through for 8. Again, we're waiting for our opponent who has not disabled the damage effects thing. That, once again, is something you can do in the game options if you would like to speed up your games a little bit. If you like seeing the damage effects, that's perfectly fine too. Just keep it on. Pia and Kiran Nalaar. So that's spewing out a rather large board presence. Although the haste ability from the Thopter Engineer is not getting any use at this point, we will not be casting anything. We will swing first because we will most likely be pumping somewhere. This time without our landfall trigger. Alright. Okay. So our opponent is set on killing our Gnarlid. We will do damage first to Pia and Kiran. Then the Thopter. Then that. And we do want to pump our Gnarlid to kill 2 of their creatures as well. Which will be Pia and Kiran and the Thopter. And this Thopter will die, so we will be leaving them with 1 creature on board, which is pretty good. And now our opponent is in a pretty precarious circumstance. I'm actually a little puzzled at what's going on here as far as the deck construction that our opponent has done. So it looks like they're going to make it to where our Kird Chieftain cannot attack this next turn, which will buy them a bit of time. Yeah, that's for sure, because they're swinging in with their Thopter Engineer. They don't know that we do have the possibility of top decking an Infectious Bloodlust and swinging with another creature, as Infectious Bloodlust gives haste. That's not the case, however, so we're going to try to go to combat, make them sack that Alchemist's Vial. Okay. That's fine. And then we'll just spew some stuff out onto the board. Probably the landfall guys. This. Because if I cast the troll, I'm going to want to leave 3 land up for the regenerative ability. So I'll just cast 2 landfall creatures instead. Next turn he can stop our Chieftain from attacking again, though Chieftain can still pump one of our other creatures. There's a Flaring Flamekin. Do they have an enchantment to pump that guy up at the moment? No? Okay. So, what are you twin bolting? You can kill 1 creature. The question is, do you want to do a damage to me? And the trample ability of the Makindi Sliderunner could play a part in that decision as well, but it looks like it doesn't matter. Our opponent has conceded. We will continue versus the AI. And they did have an enchantment. So that makes it a bit more difficult. There's a Scythe Leopard. Let's go ahead and attack. And this will be for the win, as they can only block 2 of our creatures. 2 damage we'll get through regardless, and then we will Exquisite Firecraft for the win. And there it is. Alright, this is a pretty good hand as well. We don't have a 1-drop, but we do have 2 2-drops and some mana fetch along with pump. We will keep this. There's a good chance that we will get our 3rd land by turn 3 and be able to Nissa's Pilgrimage. See what our opponent is fetching here. Island, okay. Alright, so we didn't get a land there. That's okay though. We'll go ahead and drop a mountain and let our opponent have their 2nd turn. Looks like we have Simic of some variety. Although I have been seeing more and more base blue-green decks splashing the rest of the colors. So we could be seeing that as well. Would really, really like to draw another land next turn. We're not for sure to do that though, so I think I'm going to drop our Undercity Troll. I think he has the most upside if we don't actually draw a 3rd land. Yeah. Well, there's a Guardians of Meletus. We can't actually get through that. We could do 5 to it. And it looks like our opponent does have black in the deck, and there's our 3rd land. We could blast through with that. That would avoid us overcommitting to the board. But I think I'm going to take the risk, especially with Pia and Kiran in hand, to play after a board wipe if that happens. I'm going to go ahead and just play a Snapping Gnarlid. And we'll pass the turn. Next turn we can Pilgrimage. Getting pumps, and one of our creatures should get through if our opponent does not play another blocker. There is the possibility that we're going to be languished right here, though. Doesn't look like that's happening, so that's good for us. We top decked a land, which is also good for us. Let's go ahead and play that. We'll get the trigger for landfall. Then we will Pilgrimage, leaving a mountain up for our Titan Strength. Get 2 forests, 1 into play, 1 into our hand. And then we will swing out. Could run into a Bounding Crisis. Don't really mind. I will kill it with a Titan Strength. As is, though, I will kill the Guardians if this doesn't get countered. We want that on the bottom. I have enough land for now. So, Fog. Gotcha. So this might be a Sidisi Fog deck. Looking to win with Sphinx's tutelage. They did not want their 06 wall to die. Alright, Possessed Scarab. Bringing back Fog, probably. Yep. Okay, so how do we go about this in the best way possible? I think first we do a landfall. Then we will Bloodlust on the Gnarlid. And we will Pilgrimage. All right. Confirm. That's the last of the forests in our deck. And yeah, we're only going to swing with that guy because we don't have mana up to regenerate our troll at this point. I was going to say if they block with either of those creatures, they are going to die. I didn't expect the wall to be the one that blocked, as it has a much greater chance of surviving later turns. Important to remember, our opponent does have a Fog in hand that we know about. There's a Gate Creeper Vine. And we have yet to do damage to them, which is not good for us in the overall scheme of things. Right, we will play our Rootbound Crag. And we will attack with everything. Would be nice to get our troll through. Probably not going to happen. Okay, this is really good for us because they're not using their Fog. Therefore, we can Exquisite Firecraft the wall post-combat. And I'm going to hold Pia and Kiran in hand because I do expect our opponent to be playing Languishes. And it would be nice to be able to put 3 creatures out on the board post-Languish. So I think the only targets for this at the moment is Telling Time. Yeah, Telling Time. Oh, it can be any card. I thought it was just... Oh, a sorcery or creature card. I thought it was just instants or sorceries. So that's good to know. Alright. We will... we'll make our land drop to keep this guy from dying if he blocks with the Scarab. And then we will swing with both. We have plenty of mana to regenerate our troll if he blocks it. And he does. pause and put up a regeneration shield. That's fine. Not really planning on casting anything post-combat. Still want to hold some stuff back in case of board wipes. Alright, fog. So that's the fog we know about for sure gone from our opponent's hand. And we'll pass the turn. He could have another one. You can run up to 4 fogs as they're common. There's the Guardians back. Alright, what do we get? Nissa, that's pretty good. I think we will cast Nissa pre-combat. It looks like our opponent is not running counterspells, which is very strange to me. Every time I see a deck with quite a bit of blue in it not running counterspells. Yep, we will play our Forest, as that's the last one in the deck. Nissa can't go for another one. Alright, and we will tick up. What do we get? Evolving Wilds, okay. That's fine with me. So, oh, that's enough for our opponent. As I guess our Gnarlid's big enough to kill the wall and they don't want any more of it. We'll attack with all. They cannot kill Nissa at this point without any kind of pump going on. No need to regenerate our troll. And yeah, I'm going to pass. No need to sack our Evolving Wilds right now. There's still mountains left in the deck to fetch, to give landfall triggers to our Gnarlid next turn. Don't mind letting Nissa go to 1 here. That's 1 less blocker our opponent has. Second, Pia and Kiran. So we're going to plus Nissa. See what we get. Sliderunner, that's good. And we will swing. Attack with all. See what our opponent chooses to block here. Block that one, so our troll is going to become renowned at last. He has been recognized for his service to the Empire. And now we are going to play one of these Pia and Kirans. That will give us blockers for the Scarab and make our board presence just that much more threatening. See what the now AI opponent can come up with here. Alright, swinging at Nissa. I will block with a Thopter. And then I will activate Pia and Kiran's ability. We will choose to deal 2 damage to the Scarab, and we will sacrifice the Thopter that is blocking it. That's fine for tapping mana. And we blocked that first, just in case they had something to make it not die to the 2 damage. Pump of some sort. Okay. Right, top deck of the mountain. That's pretty good. We're going to go... Well, no, we're going to activate Nissa first with the plus ability. And that's fine. We'll go to combat. And we're going to attack with everything. See how our opponent chooses to block. Alright. Let damage go through. Then post-combat we will activate Pia and Kiran to kill this Guardians. And we will sack a Thopter to do that. And just to make sure that we have potential lethal, I'm going to go ahead and play a Sliderunner here. Again, not sacking this, not playing our land. We'll get 2 landfall triggers next turn from those. if we don't get languished at this point. Looks like our opponent may be looking for that. I say opponent, though it is the AI, not a human being there now. And it looks like they did not... Oh no, they did find a languish. Alright. Well, we do not have an artifact to sack to Pia and Kiran. Yes, we want the Bloodlust trigger. Thank you very much. So we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we can kill our opponent this turn. So we will play Scythe Leopard. I mean, that's barring fog or any other damage prevention effects. We will sacrifice the Evolving Wilds. Get a trigger on our Leopard. Play the Mountain from our hand and get a trigger on the Leopard. Go ahead and tick Nissa up, see what she gives us. Undercity Troll, that's fine. Then we will play Bloodlust on the Leopard for haste and +2 attack power. Confirm. And barring damage mitigation, our opponent will go to 4 and then die to a Spell Mastery to Exquisite Firecraft. Good deal. See you in the next one. Okay. Would really, really love to have a comes into play untapped green source, but even without that, this is a pretty good hand, so I'm going to keep it. And we will start out playing the Cinder Glade and letting our opponent go. Thought about going with the Evolving Wilds, but I think I want to have the extra landfall trigger if possible from that. Our opponent, however, does lead off with an Evolving Wilds and chooses not to crack it on their turn. Ooh, now this is interesting. So we will play 2 1/1s. If I top deck the Glory Chaser, I most likely would have just dropped the Undercity Troll. Okay, so our opponent has green in their deck. Go ahead and play these guys out. Hopefully we do not see a red source plus Twin Bolt here. That would be kind of disastrous for us. Okay. Well, that's a red source, but it didn't come into play untapped, so that is pretty good. We will go ahead and play our Evolving Wilds and sacrifice it. And we will get a red source. And I'm going to play Bloodlust on the Scythe Leopard because the Goblin Glory Chaser is going to get bigger on its own, while the Scythe Leopard would otherwise stay a 1/1. Get in there for 6 damage. It's pretty good on turn 3, I think. Definitely would have been even better if that Cinder Glade had been a basic forest in our hand, but you can't have perfection every time. Or even most times. So our opponent has shown us blue now too. I'm going to attempt to pilgrimage here. I do expect if our opponent had a counter that they would have used it on that. Okay, get another landfall trigger here. And swing for 7. So I think this has probably been our most aggressive draw thus far. And it feels pretty good, honestly, to still have 2 threats in hand. There's a Woodland Wanderer. He can't block the Glory Chaser, so that's good. There's another Scythe Leopard. So our Scythe Leopard is going to die here because we don't have Spell Mastery for the Fiery Impulse yet. I think that's okay. We can't choose not to attack with it because of the Infectious Bloodlust. So let's go ahead to combat. Get in 2 damage because the Leopard is most definitely getting blocked. Yeah. We will, however, be dropping some more creatures onto the board. Yes, we want to use the Bloodlust ability, thank you. We will drop Undercity Troll. And we will drop Snapping Gnarlid. Then next turn we can play Scythe Leopard and Bloodlust it up and have 4 attacking creatures. If our board doesn't get wiped by either, there's a second black source. Could be Seeing a Languish here. That would be bad for us. Or a Wilt Leaf or Gilt Leaf Winnower that has no legal targets. We won't be blocking that. Firecraft's pretty good, I think. Let's think about this here. Yeah, we don't actually want to play Scythe Leopard now. We want to simply attack, get 2 through, and then Exquisite Firecraft for the win. Attack with all, confirm. Okay. So our opponent will go to 3. And then 2 dead. Well, that will be it for this episode of Friday Night Magic. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave a like below. It really does help. Consider subscribing to the channel to be notified when I upload content. And until next time, be excellent to each other.